I'm Teresa.
Standing at the counter of a shabby convenience store late at night, I see a familiar figure slumped over, mindlessly sweeping the floor. It's Ethan, the man who once used to be so full of himself. As I watch him, memories flood back, and I'm taken back to that fateful anniversary dinner. It was a perfect evening at an upscale restaurant by the Seattle Bay. My husband, Leo, had planned this special date for our small anniversary. The restaurant was perched on a cliff, with large glass windows offering a breathtaking view of the ocean. The warm glow of golden lights, elegant white tablecloths, flickering candles, and the soft melody of a piano in the background created an incredibly romantic atmosphere. Leo and I were having a wonderful time. Our conversations flowed effortlessly, and I felt truly valued, something I had never experienced in my first marriage. As we neared the end of our meal, Leo excused himself to go to the restroom. I turned towards the window, lost in the beauty of the ocean at night. Suddenly, a familiar yet unwelcome voice broke my reverie. "Still love watching the ocean, huh? But for someone like you, no matter how beautiful the sea is, it won't change reality." I froze. Slowly turning my head, I saw Ethan sitting in the seat Leo had just vacated. Ethan hadn't changed much. He still had that smug expression, his narrow eyes filled with contempt. His suit looked expensive, but his face showed the marks of time, losing the sharp confidence he once had. I crossed my arms and tried to stay calm. "It's been a long time, Ethan," he scoffed. I never thought I'd run into you in a place like this. So you can actually afford a fancy restaurant? Or is this a once-a-year anniversary dinner you had to save up for?" I was filled with disgust. He still looked down on me as if he were superior. I gave him a small smile and replied firmly, "I'm here because my husband wanted to bring me, not because I had to save up, and definitely not because I couldn't afford it." He let out a loud laugh and said, "Your husband? Some average nobody. Don't tell me you were dumb enough to marry another broke guy." I remained silent, but anger was slowly rising inside me. Just then, Leo returned. He calmly pulled out his chair and sat down beside me. Ethan smirked and said, "Oh, so this is your husband. He looks decent, I guess. But let me guess, he's not exactly wealthy. Just another average office worker, right?" Leo didn't respond immediately. He took a sip of his wine and then said steadily, "I don't think I need to prove anything to you." Ethan burst into sarcastic laughter. "Oh, you're smooth. But let's be real. I know what kind of woman you are, Teresa. You never had anything of your own. If he married you, he can't be much better off." Ethan then tilted his chin up and boasted, "I'm different. I come here all the time. This restaurant is one of my favorites, not just some place I visit on rare occasions." Just then, a woman approached our table. It was Lily, the woman Ethan had left me for. She looked exhausted, with a dress that no longer fit properly. Lily placed a bill on the table in front of Ethan and said sharply, "They said you need to pay now." Ethan flinched, but quickly regained his arrogance. He pulled out his wallet slowly, as if calculating something. Leo leaned in and whispered to me, "Do you really think he comes here often?" I didn't answer, but a small smile played on my lips. Ethan handed his credit card to Lily, who passed it to the server. The server hesitated and then said apologetically, "I'm sorry, but this card has been declined." Ethan's face darkened. Lily glared at him. "You said you come here all the time. Why is your card declined?" Ethan stammered, "Maybe there's an issue with the bank. Let me try another card." Just as he pulled out a second card, Leo let out a quiet chuckle. "Seems like things aren't quite as you claimed, huh?" Ethan shot Leo a glare, but had no comeback. Lily sighed and said, "This is the last time I go out with you," and then walked away. I leaned back and took a sip of my wine. "So, you said you come here often. Looks like tonight was an exception then." Ethan gritted his teeth, but was silent. Leo then said gently, "Our dinner is finished, my love. Shall we go?" I nodded, and we stood up to leave. Ethan tried to salvage his dignity. He cleared his throat and said, "Well, I don't really care about trivial matters like this. Money issues are only temporary. I'm a senior manager at Pacifica Corporation. My salary easily covers nights like this. Leo casually pulled a sleek black card from his wallet and placed it on the table. The waiter immediately bowed respectfully and said, "Thank you, Mr. Blackwood. We will process your payment right away." Ethan stared at the card in disbelief. The waiter soon returned with the card and the receipt, saying, "Thank you very much, Mr. Blackwood. It's an honor to serve you." Ethan furrowed his brows. "Wait, Blackwood? Don't tell me. It can't be." I crossed my arms and said with a smile, "My husband is Leo Blackwood, the chairman of Pacifica Corporation." Ethan froze. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. Leo then said calmly, "Listen, Ethan. I don't care about my wife's past, but I don't appreciate anyone disrespecting her. My wife is not just a lucky woman who married rich. She is capable, intelligent, and an important partner in my work. She is the vice president of Pacifica Corporation." Ethan couldn't believe what he heard. "Haha, this is a joke, right?" He laughed nervously, but his eyes showed his panic. I shrugged and said, "I was an office worker, but after our divorce, I focused on my career, earned my business degree, and worked hard. One day, Pacifica Corporation offered me a management position, and I climbed my way up. And as you can see now, I'm the vice president." Leo then said firmly, "You brag about being a manager at Pacifica Corporation, but I've never noticed you. In fact, I've never heard anyone in the company mention your name. I wonder if you're actually as good as you claim to be, or if you're just someone who's managed to slip through the system." After that dinner, I thought everything with Ethan was over. But the next morning as I walked into my office, my phone rang. It was Ethan. He stammered and said he wanted to talk about his job. I was cold and told him I didn't care. He tried to make excuses, saying it was a misunderstanding and he didn't mean to disrespect me or Leo. He then begged me to talk to Leo and convince him to let him stay. I was furious. I told him I owed him nothing and that I was where I was today because of my hard work. I also told him he was being fired because of his attitude, the way he treated his colleagues, and his degrading remarks about women in the company. He pleaded for mercy, but I hung up on him. When I went to the conference room, Leo already knew what had happened. He signed the termination order and said, "Let him learn this lesson the hard way." But instead of firing him immediately, Leo reassigned Ethan to the Idaho branch, a tiny, remote office. Ethan reacted furiously, but he had no choice. A few weeks later, I heard he and Lily had moved to Idaho. Life there was tough for them. Lily couldn't stand it and left after a few months. Ethan tried to hold on to his job, but it was in vain. After a year, he submitted his resignation. He thought he could easily get a better job with his experience, but no company wanted to hire him. His savings dwindled, and he was forced to move into a rundown apartment in the suburbs. Now he's just a night shift clerk at a convenience store. In contrast, my life with Leo has been wonderful. No matter how busy he is, he always makes time for monthly date nights. Sometimes it's a quiet dinner at a cozy restaurant, and other times it's a weekend getaway to the mountains. I know I made the right decision when I left Ethan. Moving forward is what truly matters, and I'm happier than ever.